Giving birth, her first visitors were a group of people known to be social outcasts, most of them with criminal records, the shepherds. Their first visitors took a great risk in coming to see Jesus. They gave up their jobs, or at least risked their jobs, to come see the King of Kings. They brought with them their animal steak. Can you just see Mary and Joseph? Here they are, new parents, struggling as all new parents do, feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, they're dirty, they're lonely, and they're outcast. And to be visited for the first time by another group of outcasts, to be visited by people who smell. Did your day get any worse? Oh, but it did. Let's not forget that just a few days later, perhaps after Joseph and Mary had finally gotten used to the middle of the night feedings and began to feel that perhaps they could be parents, and this is something that they could do together, they were visited by wise people from the East, people that are foreigners, people that had different customs and traditions. They brought him gifts. Gifts his family, like most young families, would need to survive financially on the journey ahead. But they also brought bad news with them. Their arrival to seek the King of the Jews scared Herod so deep that he ordered the death of all male boys under the age of 2, in hopes that he could wipe out this King of Kings. This very decree would force Joseph and Mary to take their newborn son and flee the country, to live as refugees, to become strangers in a foreign land. Now, how many of you had heard this version of the Nativity story before? Anybody? A couple of us. It's not a story that most of us are familiar with. It's one that we like to overlook because it's easy to have the perfect Christmas card picture of the Nativity. It's easy to welcome Jesus into a story and into a world that is picture perfect. But my friends, welcoming Jesus is not easy. It wasn't easy 2,000 years ago, and it is not easy today. Just like long ago, Jesus enters into a very dark world, a world that's full of sin, a world full of hatred, poverty, war, injustice, abuse, crime, and I could make the list go on. It's a world that has witnessed evil this week and the loss of 28 people, most of them innocent children, due to violence. A loss that has reminded all of us that we live in a world where when one part of the body suffers, we all suffer. A loss that has reminded us that we are all God's children, beautifully and wonderfully made and worthy of God's love. A loss that has taken us back to the echoes of the crowd gathered with John saying, "What is it then we are to do? What is it then we are to do when we live in a world that is in a desperate need to welcome Jesus? What is it then we are to do when we live in darkness?" My brothers and sisters, know that the light of Christ will not be overcome by darkness. Go forth this week into the darkness of Advent, knowing that Christ has come and will come again. Go forth to welcome Christ into our world, singing the words of the song Chris Rice wrote, which read, "So wrap our injured flesh around you, breathe our air and walk our side, rob our sin and make us holy. Perfect Son of God, welcome to our world. Bring your peace into our violence. Bid our hungry souls be filled. Word now breaking heaven's silence. Welcome to our world. Welcome to our world." Amen.